जीवम साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, 119.25, right? So let me go. 119.25. Should we recite the verse? Recite the verse.
So just information that today was supposed to be Sita Sundari Mata's class, but she couldn't give for some reason. So Prema Sindhu stepped in last minute. So let's give a big round of applause.
Hare Krishna.
He's always there to help no matter what.
Let's see how much I can help. I'm trying to help myself by reading this. Tatra bhavat bhagwan vyasaputro yadrichaya gam atmano anapekshaha alakshalingo nijalabha tushto vitascha baler avadhuta veshaha. Okay, so since I was not there last time, in the last verse, I think Parikshit Maharaj asks two questions. He is wanting to know, he is on the verge of dying, 7 days he has to leave his body. So he is asking two questions. Please tell me what I should do. What is the duty of a person who is about to die? And what is the duty of the person at all other times? In every circumstances, what is the duty? So because he's about to die, so this is very important. So we'll read this purport. At that moment there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. So the son of Vyasadeva is Shukdev Goswami. So he was traveling as if he did not have anything to do with this material world. People travel in this world because they have some, for job, something like they want to achieve something or go on a vacation to enjoy. But he was completely bereft of everything. He was just traveling, and he did not care what others people thought about him. He was not thinking at what is my status in the society, what. So he was traveling naked, completely aloof from everything, completely out of the bodily conception of life. And there were women and children who were following him. They were making fun of him, and like that he was traveling. So we'll see what happens. The word Bhagwan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Sukadeva Goswami. So Tatra Bhavat Bhagwan Vyasaputro. In the verse you say Bhagwan is referring to Shukdev Goswami. So normally Bhagwan refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. But devotees are also referred to as Bhagwan, like Narad Muni is referred to as Bhagwan in the Bhagavatam, like that many times. Other Shiva also referred to as Bhagwan sometimes. Like Shukdev Goswami, such liberated souls are disinterested in affairs of this material world because they are self-satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service. So they are Atmaram. They are satisfied. They are not hankering for anything, because Krishna is also Atmaram. He is not hankering for anything. He's Atmaram in one sense. Of course, he hankers for the love of his devotees, but he's Atmaram. He's not hankering for any material things. So the devotees who also serve Krishna, they also develop the qualities of Krishna. They become Atmaram because they experience the joy within. Their experience there is a verse, Ramanta yogino anante satyanande chidatmani iti rama padenasho param brahma abhidiyate. The yogis, they feel great pleasure from within. Ramante anant, they feel unlimited transcendental pleasure from within by associating with Ram. Ram is the Supreme Lord. So they feel so much pleasure. So it's just like if you have taken a full meal, you are satisfied. You don't care whether somebody gives you food or not, because you are fully satisfied within yourself. You're not hankering for. So because of Krishna consciousness, such devotees are fully satisfied. The formula is given in the Bhagavatam, how to be fully satisfied. Save pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Suprasidati means fully satisfied. If one renders unconditional, uninterrupted devotional service to Krishna, one will experience full satisfaction. The condition is that we render service to Krishna without any motive and constantly. So then we'll come to the point of full satisfaction. So bhakti pareshanubhava virakti anyatracha, it is described. When you surrender to the Lord, three things happen. Devotion to the Lord develops, bhakti, para ishanubhava, the experience of the Supreme Lord, Krishna reciprocates with you, and virakti, you experience detachment. Virakti cha bhakti pareshanubhava virakti anyatra cha esha trika eka kala. Simultaneously, eka kala means at one time these three things happen. Just as it is described, tushti pushti shudapayo anughasham, that as you eat, three things happen. You become nourished, you become satisfied, and your hunger subsides. As with every morsel that you eat, then your hunger subsides. So the soul is hankering for Krishna's love. Everybody is looking for Krishna. Everybody is looking for Krishna. But we are trying to substitute Krishna with some other thing, with our iPhone, or with a dog, or with somebody else in this world. And that is why it is not giving satisfaction. That's why we are not satisfied. Everybody is looking for Krishna. When we experience Krishna's love, then we become satisfied. So, because our constitutional position is to depend on Krishna. Depend and love Krishna. That is our constitutional position of the Jiva. Jivere Swarup hoy Krishna Nityadas. So, when we are situated in our constitutional position, then we are satisfied, because we are in our natural situation. So, why we do so many things in this world? Because we are not satisfied. We want to get things from outside to give us satisfaction. Karma means those things that you do because you're not satisfied inside, so you have to get things from outside to get that satisfaction. Because we are not satisfied internally. Like we need to buy the latest iPhone or of course we can use that in Krishna's service. It's not, but we are hankering. If I want, because we are thinking, if I get that thing, then I will be satisfied. If I get this thing, I'll be satisfied. If I get that person, I'll be satisfied. So we are thinking like that. So we do all these activities. If I get a nice material situation, I'll be satisfied. If I get name and fame, I will be satisfied. So like that. So Shukdev Goswami was not hankering for anything of this material world. He was on the transcendental platform. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kangshati. No lamentation, no hankering. Is there anybody like that today? Everybody is hankering for something. If you are and lamenting, yes, lamenting, oh, things, I didn't get that, I wish I should have got that, or things didn't go out like that. But this lamentation can be used in Krishna's service. How? Oh, sometimes devotees say, oh, wish I had come to Krishna consciousness earlier. Wish I could do my sadhana nicely, wish I could chant my rounds nicely. Wish I can hear the holy name. Wish I can be more Krishna conscious. I'm not so Krishna. That lamentation is good. And hankering, like, yeah, hankering to go back to the spiritual world, hankering to serve the devotees. So this hankering is good. But that is like Yashoda is in anxiety. Prabhupada is in anxiety, which is transcendental anxiety, because they want to spread Krishna. They want to see how to bring others to Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada left his peaceful situation in Vrindavan, and he was crying when they were playing golf. He was crying. They were playing golf. They are enjoying. They are thinking, why would somebody cry? You know, but Prabhupada was crying. They are playing golf. They are enjoying. And Prabhupada was thinking, oh, this last years of their life, they are trying to push this ball into the hole. They are trying to perfect the art of pushing the ball into the hole. Their last years of life. They've gone through so much, suffering, and they don't know what is coming up in their life. So he was crying for them that they are not taking up Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada had tears. So that is lamentation, but that's transcendental lamentation, right? There is material lamentation and there is material lamentation means I didn't get that, whatever. Wish I could have got that lottery, somebody else got it. I didn't, only it was one off by one number, maybe I should have got that. So like that. So he was completely satisfied because they are self-satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service. Actually, Shukdev Goswami, he didn't want to come out of the womb of his mother. For how many years? 16 years. He didn't want to come out of the womb. Because he was thinking, if I come out, then what will happen? What will happen if I come out? I will fall into Maya. He was very afraid of Maya, this material world. So, we say in English, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Right? Angels are afraid, oh, I cannot go into that. Fools are thinking, oh, now this is a nice situation. They go into it. So like that, our situation is also like that. So he was very... Huh? Fearless. Yeah, fearless. Fools are fearless. So in the Jiva Jago song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, you promised you'll come into this world and you'll worship me. But you forgot. Because we come out in the world and then we have nice parents and nice relatives and they're saying, very cute child, nice. Like you will say to your child, but you will chant Hare Krishna. So that's good. But
I should not say it's not good.
no, you should not make him forget. Very nice child, very nice. Oh, so cute. Nice talking, this, nice sweet words, Broken language of the child is so pleasing to the parents. Oh, very sweet words. See how he's learning to talk, Nice words, he's speaking half-broken words. We are enjoying his childhood, and the child has also forgotten about Krishna, and the parents have also forgotten about Krishna, whose child is like that. It is described in the Bhagavatam how Griha Medhi householder, how he becomes enamored by all these things, and then he forgets the purpose of life.
One song also about Janani Jatare Silama Japan Vishama Bandhana Pase. That song related to this song.
So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhuliya
Tumhare Samchare Asinu.
That song, right? Bhuliya Tumhare. I don't know all the song, but we can sing that song if you want to put that. Later on, at the end, we can sing. She can sing. She knows the tune. Okay, so like that. So Shukdev Goswami didn't want to come out of the womb for 16 years because he was very afraid. Then Krishna came and said, please come. You will not be affected by Maya. It's assurance from Krishna. So he came out. He came out and he started walking towards the forest. He didn't want to do anything. He was in Brahman realization. He was impersonalist, Brahman realized, but he was self-satisfied. But when he heard about Krishna in the forest, because Vyasadeva sent his disciples, because he was very much aggrieved that his son has gone to the forest. It's like you have your son, and then after having the son, you want to have a loving relationship, and the son says, no, I want to just go to the forest. So Vyasadeva was very much pained by that. So he sent his disciples in the forest. And they were talking about Krishna's beauty. They were talking about Krishna's kindness. Bharapidam natavara vapu karnayo karnikaram bibrad vasha kanaka kapisham vaijandim chamalam. How Krishna Randhran Venuradhara Sudhaya Purayan Gopa Vrinde Punyam Manam Pravisha Gita Kirti. So how Krishna is so beautiful, he's wearing a peacock feather, and okay, he's beautiful, but he's also very kind. Somebody may be very beautiful, but if they have no good qualities, we don't like to associate with them. They have to be humble, they have to be kind, they have to be tolerant. If they're arrogant, they may have externally they are very good looking, but we don't feel like associating with them. So then they spoke about the mercy of Krishna, how merciful Krishna is, that even Putana came to Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam Jikam Sapaya Dapiya Sadvi Lebe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamva Dayalu Sharanam Rajena. Oh, who Uddhav is saying this verse. Who will I take shelter of other than the Supreme Lord? That even Putana came to kill him in the disguise of a mother, to poison him. But Krishna gave him the liberation of a nurse. Such a merciful Lord. Who else can I worship but Krishna, who is so merciful? We say is Karuna Sindhu, is an ocean of mercy. So when he heard these two verses about, then Sukadeva Goswami thought, I want to know more about this person. So he started following the disciples of Vyasadeva, and they brought him back to the ashram of Vyasadeva, where Vyasadeva taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vyasadeva taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. And so although he was self-satisfied, he was still attracted to the pastimes of Krishna and the qualities of Krishna. So it is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita or in the Bhagavatam it says, Atma Ramasya Muneyo Nirgranthi Api Urukrame Kurvanti Yahi Tukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Hari. It is said even Krishna is so attractive that he even attracts those who have no material desires. He is so attractive. The Atma Ramas, they are also attracted by the bhakti of Krishna. So Sukadeva Goswami, he was walking around not conforming to any social status. What others will think, like that, any social norms, how I am dressed, what people are going to say about my dress. No care, like that. The gopis also, today is Sharad Purnima. Gopis went to Krishna without thinking how they are looking. They wore the top part of the dress on the bottom on the top. We were hearing something. They were saying that they had made a choti on one side of the hair, and the other side they didn't make the choti yet. Their hair was loose. But at that time, the sound of Krishna's flute came, and they just ran. How would it look if you have choti on one side and your loose hair on the other side? So they don't care, and Krishna doesn't care how you look. What is your external? He is seeing internally what is in your heart. Putana was looking very beautiful externally because she came in disguise. But Krishna closed his eyes. He didn't want to look at Putana because her heart was full of envy and she wanted to kill Krishna. So the inner qualities are more important than the externals. Externals, we can have so many things like
Krishna went to Kubja.
Krishna went to Kubja, and Kubja was not so good looking. And Shabri also, Ramchandra went. She was all old and wrinkled and everything, and she was offering her jhuta to Ram, but Ramchandra was accepting. So she had not put any cosmetics or anything like that. But so Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. Of course, we have heard this many times. So Krishna is not concerned with the externals. So let's see we'll read the purport. Sukadeva Goswami never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory performances. So he did not go through initiation, anything like that, Sukadeva Goswami. Prabhupada says real initiation comes from the heart. It's not about sitting in the ceremony. That is there, to some degree it's there, but real initiation comes from the heart. So when he heard the, Vyasadeva speak, he got the message and he learned Srimad Bhagavatam. So one time Prabhupada, he was conducting a ceremony, initiation ceremony in Berkeley, California. and there was some person who sat in the ceremony. He was staying in the temple for some time. He sat in the ceremony, and then next day he left. So they said this person left because this person, he had just come for academic studies. He wanted to study and he wanted to see what it feels like to be sitting in the yajna. At heart, he did not accept the teachings or anything. He had just gone through the academics of, like, okay, well, what they are doing, how it feels like, and they said, and then the next day, Prabhupada says he was never my disciple because he never accepted at heart, the spiritual master. So, like that. So, everything ultimately we should accept from the heart. So, his father Vyasadeva was his natural spiritual master because Shukdev Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self-satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. So, there are so many rituals, Upanayan and this and that. It's not necessary. For the devotee who serves Krishna, all these rituals are not necessary. So many things. Because if you surrender to Krishna, Devarshi Bhutapta Ninam Pitrinam Na Kinkaro Nayam Rinicha Rajan. Sarvatmana Yasharanam Sharanam Gato Mukundam Pariritya. You don't need to perform any. If you simply do devotional service, in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is said, last verse, right? You know the verse? That one is not bereft of the results of devotional, of performing sacrifices, of performing pious activities. If he worships Krishna, then he's not bereft of. He doesn't have to do all this separately. He doesn't have to do like charity to the poor or this, that, nothing. If he is serving Krishna, if you have that faith, then you are good. Shraddha, if I chant Hare Krishna, if I hear Srimad Bhagavatam, just follow the morning program that Prabhupada has given. Worship Tulsi Devi, chant Hare Krishna, do it every day. Just follow the process. You don't have to do external this and that and preach Krishna consciousness. Then you don't have to do this thing and that thing, and so many rituals are there. You don't have to do any of those rituals. You just do what Prabhupada has given. Like recently, Malti Prabhu was saying, we talk of the Parayan time and exactly. Malti Prabhu was saying, in Prabhupada's time, there was nothing like this. They were doing Ekadashi, next day, sunrise, they break the fast and finished. Now we have to be correct. Do you think those devotees are not? They are also very elevated. They surrender to Srila Prabhupada. Main thing is to surrender to the process, to the Acharya. That is the main thing. It's not so much about the rituals and the externals. Because the Smarta Brahmanas can bring in so many different. I'm not saying that we don't have to follow any rules and regulations. But the main thing is to chant Hare Krishna nicely, to preach. This is our mission, to share Krishna consciousness with others, and engage in deity worship and these things. These are the main things. Other things, like, so many people say, I'm doing Sharad Purnima, there's Kadwa Chauth and so many things like that, they do for the family, and so many, the rituals are there in Hindu. But we are not following this. We are following the Bhagavad Dharma. Hearing, chanting, and this is what we do. So, yeah, so that verse Preeti quoted, that Vedeshu Yagneshu Tapasu Chaiva. In the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, let me just read this verse. Vedeshu Yagneshu Tapasu Chaiva Daneshu Yat Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Param Sthano Peti Chadya. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So that is, so if we have that faith that by serving Krishna, Shraddha Shabde Vishwash Kohe Shudrida Nishay, Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. If I surrender to Krishna, if I serve Krishna, everything else is taken care of. I don't need to do this, so many things separately. And that Krishna is demonstrating in Govardhan Leela, which also happened in this month. You don't have to do Indra Yagna. If you are worshipping Krishna, you don't have to do Indra Yagna. He is also demonstrating in the pastime of the Vedic Brahmanas. They are doing Yagna. And the wives are, they are not so learned in all the scriptural knowledge and everything. But when Krishna comes and asks, the cowherd boys come, they say, yeah, we want to give food. So they may not be technically perfect. So after this, he became completely satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal processes are necessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation. But Sri Shukdev Goswami was already in that status by the grace of his father. Now you may say, we are not at the level of Shukdev Goswami. So of course, we have to follow the rules and regulations. But the basic rules and regulations, I'm not saying we have to do away with all the rules, and we have to follow the rules and regulations, but the rules and regulations should be followed in a spirit of devotion to please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Huh?
All rules and regulations subordinate to this principle.
हाँ तो न जात उचित सर्वे.
Always remember Krishna.
So all rules and regulations are subordinate to the principle that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Or they are meant to bring us to this point of always remembering Krishna. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was uninterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in the decision as to what was to be done. So he had asked two questions, and there were a lot of sages. So they were thinking, what answer should we give, What is the duty of a person who is about to die? They didn't have one voice. Some sages were saying do this, some sages were saying do that. They didn't say, but they were of different opinions. Just like medical advice, Prabhupada says, you go to one doctor, he gives you this medicine. You go to another doctor, he gives you another medicine. So there are different medicines. So for spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to different modes of different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the sea. So Krishna sent him. Sometimes when the devotee is looking for answers, sometimes we have this experience, we open Prabhupada book, and that's where what we are thinking, that's where Prabhupada is telling the answer. It so happens sometimes, you are thinking of something and then you open the book and right there is the answer. You may say it's just like coincidence or something by luck, but nothing happens by chance. So when the devotee really wants to get out of this material world, really wants to progress in bhakti with sincere, then Krishna sends devotees in his life, right? And then they get a book. Somebody was going to commit suicide, right? They were in the car, that put their exhaust in the car so that it suffocates them, and they were just waiting for them to die, and some book distributor came and he put a pamphlet or something on the dashboard, and this person was thinking, let me see, anyway I'm going to die, what this is there, well, let me see. And he opened the thing and he saw, and he somehow, by the mercy of super soul, he changed the mind. He thought, okay, something happened, and he changed his mind. Like Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj also saying, 3 days he met 3 people who were wanting to commit suicide. 3 consecutive days when he was on book distribution. So Krishna sends, because we are all in distress, Krishna will send. And sometimes people commit suicide because they don't know the truth. That means we are not going out enough to give them the knowledge. We should take the responsibility on us that we have not met them. And we should, of course, we can't meet all the people in the world, but at least we can try, because many people are waiting to receive this knowledge. They don't know that there is this something like Krishna consciousness outside. They don't know. So we have to go out, we have to expose them to Krishna consciousness by giving them the book, something like that. So many people are suffering. They are looking for this knowledge. Okay, so it was the arrangement of Krishna that Shukdev Goswami showed up there. He was wondering, but why would he come there? It is divine arrangement of Krishna. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was in the forest, Narad Muni showed up in the forest because Dhruva Maharaj wanted to see God. So he was very much desirous to see God. So when we are very much desirous, then Krishna sends devotees in our life. Right? So some of, like, they are already born in devotee family, so they don't have to worry. But those who are not born and they are looking for this knowledge, like I was looking and I got the Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. Somehow Krishna made the arrangement, I got the Bhagavad Gita. So this is how. So there are many opinions in this world. There are many opinions. Every person has an opinion. Tarko pratishta shrutoyor vibhinna nasha vrishir yasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya hi tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajana yena gata sapantha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke this verse. If you ask so many people, everybody will have an opinion about what is the absolute truth. And one Muni doesn't differ from another Muni unless he presents a different opinion. So there are so many theories and so many opinions. But the absolute truth is hidden in the heart of the self-realized person. Dharmasi tattvam nihitam guhayam. And one should approach such a self-realized person and follow the path given by this. Of course, we may say, how do we know who is self-realized? How do we know? Because everybody is saying, this Baba, that Baba in India, everybody is having different, so many followings are there. How do we know who is the right person? Then we have to come to Krishna and see what Krishna is saying. So that's how we can understand. Otherwise, everybody will speak their own philosophy. And people, because they don't read the scriptures, they are confused about so many philosophies. Okay. Okay, so the next, how long we go? This last verse, right?
I think 27, right?
28, so okay. So now these two verses describe, the auspicious symptoms in the body of Shukdev Goswami. How, because of which everybody knew that this person is very special. So, I'll read the translation. His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep. We missed one. Okay. 26. Okay. This son of Vyasadeva was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and other parts of his body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful, like a conch shell. So, a respectable personality is described beginning with the legs, and this honored system is observed here with Shukdev Goswami. He was only 16 years of age. A person is honored for his achievements and not for advanced age. A person can be older by experience and not by age. Sri Shukdev Goswami, who is described herein as the son of Vyasadeva, was by his knowledge more experienced than all the sages present there, although he was only 16 years old. So there were Agastya Muni, Vashishta Muni, and they were very senior in age. Shukdev Goswami was only 16 years old. But Prabhupada is saying it is not a question of age. Of course, we should respect the elders, the seniors who are elder to us. But it is not about age. Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old, right? But still, he is one of the Mahajans, what he was speaking. So, it doesn't mean that if you are older, that means you are wise. Naturally, you are wise, not necessarily. Yeah.
I'm sorry for this might be a little technical, but it says in the translation that Sukadeva Goswami was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And we mentioned that he was 16 years old in his mother's womb. So that means he left after he came out, he went to the forest, he came back, he learned the whole Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva, and then he still had time to travel the earth to come to the meeting at 16 years old, all in 1 year.
Correct. Maybe he's 16 years and 11 months old. We don't know. It's not mentioned. But that's besides the point, whether he was 16 years old or he was 17 years old. But he was in that 16 years old. So he was traveling, and how we don't know how long he traveled. Is it mentioned?
Also, he heard Bhagavatam from Lord Shiva, right, when he was a parrot. He was a parrot of Radharani, so he already had this knowledge.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
he learned it from Vyasdev.
We also hear from Mother womb, right?
Mother's womb.
Yeah.
Vyasdev was speaking and he was in the womb of the mother.
Yeah, that Prabhupada said in the last purport. He said that his father Vyasadeva was his natural spiritual master because Shukdev Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. And also that story is there that he was a parrot and he was with Lord Shiva and he was, yeah.
Even Arjuna understood the entire Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
For exalted devotees.
So we are saying that he was 16 years old when he came out, then he went to the forest, then he came back and then he heard Bhagavatam. How can he be still 16 years old?
He wasn't 12 years old when he came out.
Yeah, was it 12 or 16 years he was in the womb?
16 is little.
No, he was now 16 years old. But how long did he stay in the womb of his? 16 years, okay.
Time ceased.
Like Krishna, when he did the Ras dance with the gopis, he put one Brahma's night in one night of the gopis. They were playing Ras Leela for one night of Brahma. But then if you say one night of Brahma, then all Brajavasis there in the village who were sleeping, right? Because the gopis came. For them also one night of Brahma should have passed. And they would have died also, because who lives that one night of Brahma is 4.32 billion years. 4.32 billion means they were living for 4.32 billion years. It doesn't make sense, right? How can they be living for 4.32 billion years? And Kali Yuga is not that long also, right? I mean, Kali Yuga, so many Kali Yugas are there in one day of Brahma. And that much. So how come Kali Yuga is 432,000 years, 4,32,000 years. But Brahma's one night is 4.32 billion years. So how many Kali Yugas would have passed, and so many Dwapar Yugas also. That was the Dwapar Yuga. So it is for gopis it was an experience of one night of Brahma. But for them it was only one night. For the Vrajvasis it was only one night. So time is also relative. Anyway, this doesn't apply here, but Krishna can do amazing things. Like Brahma's 1 second and then 1 year passed on earth. Like when Brahma stole the cowherd boys and he came back, 1 year had passed on earth. So time, Krishna can expand, compress, whatever he wants, he can do. Sometimes it says he wants to go somewhere, then Dham contracts. Dham contracts so he can go faster. He doesn't want to meet somebody, then Dham expands. So, like that. So many things. Sometimes they say, Krishna had 900,000 cows and Govardhan Hill. How can everybody fit under Govardhan Hill? Because Govardhan Hill is not so big. The periphery, and if you see the diameter, and not only Krishna, all the Vrajvasis and all the cows and everybody and all the gopis.
That is now. What we see is just now.
But in Dwapar Yuga also, Satya Yuga it was very tall, but that means Krishna can accommodate everybody. Vrindavan is 80, how much? 84 crores, right? So how all these people are living in Vrindavan? And we say in Ras Leela there were billions of gopis. There were billions of gopis. So how billions of gopis can be accommodated in a small area like Vrindavan? If you say in Vrindavan is this dimension, then how it is possible? So that is the inconceivable power of God. That's why many people think it's mythology. This is mythology. First of all, they can't accept that Krishna lifted the hill. That is also not possible. Because we measure God with our own power. So we think if I can't do, then how can God do all these things? But that's why He's God and you're not God. So Hindu mythology, many people think this is all, not true. It is some fairy tale. I also used to think somewhat like that before. Because all these fantastic descriptions are not like, you cannot, there's no experience of this. Mahavishnu breathing out and in the causal ocean and the bubbles are forming of course, Prabhupada accepts everything literally. In Vaishnavas accept everything literally. So because then Prabhupada would say we are frog in the well. So what do we know? So like that. So those who know the goal of life, they are wiser, not by age. Bali Maharaj rejected his guru, Shukracharya. Because Shukracharya told him, don't surrender to Vaman Dev. He is Vishnu, he will take everything away from you. Don't surrender to him. And Bali Maharaj rejected. So it is not about, of course we should respect, according to etiquette, we should respect the elders. But we can't hear everything they have to tell us. If it is, supposing you are chanting and your parents say, oh, you should not chant so much, this is waste of time, instead you should do something. Then you can reject the advice. You don't have to quarrel with them, but you can be respectful and say, yes, what you are saying is correct. Right? Yudhishthir Maharaj says, in Grihastha life, sometimes there'll be lot of, in the 7th canto, he says, there'll be lot of suggestions from family members who don't know about goal of life. And they'll say, oh, you should do like this, you should not chant so much, you should not, why are you taking initiation now? This is all this, so many rules and regulations, like that. So you don't change your goal because they are telling you, because they don't know. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, if I want my eternal benefit, I should ignore the countless voices of popular wisdom and listen to that of realized souls. I should hear what great souls, Prabhupada, what they are telling me, not all the popular wisdom, what people are saying, because that way I cannot understand. So Shukdev Goswami, he was very attractive and he was more experienced than everybody. He is a Paramhamsa, more than all the other sages present, as Prabhupada is saying. So he was completely fit. So we'll read the last verse. His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long, and curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. So he was blackish in complexion. His bodily features indicate him to be different from common man. All the signs described in this connection with the bodily features of Shukdev Goswami are uncommon symptoms, typical of great personalities, according to physiognomical calculations. His bodily hue resembled that of Lord Krishna, who is the supreme among the gods, demigods, and all living beings. So everybody could recognize that these are the symptoms of a Mahapurush. Whatever he had, all this deep navel, abdomens beautifully striped. Of course, he was naked. His arms were long, like we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has eyes extended to his ears. He had lotus petal-like eyes. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanai kapitaro kamalaya taksho vishwambharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priya karo karunavataro. This is the Mangalacharan. This prayer we can offer to Lord Chaitanya Nityananda. They have long arms, they have beautiful petal-like golden complexion, Kanakavadatos. He is the father of the Sankirtan movement. So when we come before the deity, we can offer some prayer to the deity. So Lord Chaitanya, we can offer this prayer to Lord Chaitanya. So like that. I don't know so many prayers, but this is in Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. It's Mangalacharan. So many devotees recite this before the class or something. He is the maintainer of the universe, Vishwambharo, Dvijavaro. He is the best of the Brahmanas. Like that it is described. And very merciful. Okay, so
We have one more last 28.
28. Okay.
It's again continuation of his physical appearance.
He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Normally we think in India, blackish means not so beautiful. Right? That is generally the fair people are considered beautiful. But Krishna is blackish. I mean, his color is like a cloud. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. So he was so attractive. All the women were attracted to him, like Krishna. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy. And so they honored him by rising from their seats. So he was not advertising himself that I am a great devotee. He was very humble. But as soon as he came, everybody recognized, oh, this person is very advanced. Just like that. So they got up from their seats.
Physiognomy means facial features.
Facial features, okay. Of course, Vyasadeva was not so beautiful. So we can't say, generally speaking, he was not so good looking. So we can't judge a book by its cover, right? Sometimes it says Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Vijena Bujhai. We cannot judge externally what is the internal consciousness of that person. So yeah, here though it says that they all recognized him because he was. But we should not think that, oh, this person is like this, so he may not be very spiritually advanced, like that. Because we don't know in their heart how much they are attached to Krishna. And externally they may be poor, they may be this, that, not shabbily dressed, or whatever. In the material world, everybody appreciates because of the externals. But, when Prabhupada met Radhanath Swami first time, he was like a hippie. And he was in the big Pandal program, right? He was at the back. And then Prabhupada said, you bring him onto the stage. He said, right? Bring him onto the stage. Similarly with Jayapataka Maharaj, he said, he's an associate of Lord Chaitanya. Right? Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, and Jayapataka Maharaj was saying that, really, I'm an associate of Lord Chaitanya. And then Prabhupada says, you disbelieve your spiritual master? He was saying like that. You don't believe like that I read. So, we don't know, they may be like some very, but maybe the potential was there. So Prabhupada also recognized that this person has the potential. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he saw Srila Prabhupada first time, he said, you should reach all over the world. How absurd it is to, without introduction, if I meet somebody and say, hey, you should do this. We don't have a relationship. How can you tell me what I should do? That's what happened with Prabhupada, right? He didn't even they didn't even have formal introduction. Who are you? How? What you are doing? What is this? What is? He immediately said, as soon as he got up, you are Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could see many things. So here also they could see Shukdev Goswami is very spiritually advanced. The sages could see. So Prabhupada many times he would see what is in your heart. And the devotee would say, that's what I was thinking, and Prabhupada could tell what was in my heart. Why? Because Prabhupada is in touch with super soul. The great souls are in touch with Krishna, and Krishna is also in your heart. So through Krishna, super soul can tell the jiva, oh, that's what he's thinking. And so they can know what is in your heart. So sometimes, many times Prabhupada would know. So they are great souls. So it's 8:53, right? You have to stop now. 8:45 we stop. Right?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Two questions. First question is, Sukadeva Goswami is so elevated, but he also hear the in mother room and also from Lord Shiva talking, and then मैंने सोचा क्या मुझे दे दिया. Okay, like this. Achha. Okay, so basically my question is, Sukadeva Goswami is so elevated, and he's in mother room, he hear the Bhagavatam, he hear when Lord Shiva also speaking. Then why suddenly he become the impersonal?
Impersonalist, that is a good question. Because he heard, of course, he heard the Bhagavatam afterwards, after he went to the forest and he came back, then he heard the Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva. Because he heard the two verses in the forest. He was Brahman realized at that time. He went to the forest. Then he got attracted by the beauty of Krishna and the kindness of Krishna. So he came back, and then Vyasadeva taught him Srimad Bhagavatam, as I understand, right? He came back, and then Vyasadeva told him Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's when he became a devotee. But before, you are saying, before, right?
Yeah.
He heard from
Lord Shiva, no?
Lord Shiva. He was the parrot.
Yeah, and then in the mother room also. Therefore, he don't want to come out because
Yeah.
he's relishing the Bhagavatam, and he don't want to come out.
Maybe, I don't know, I'm maybe speculating here, but maybe it is to show that even though he was so elevated in consciousness, still he was attracted by Krishna. So that pastime would not have happened like this kind of thing, to show that even the Atma Ramas, as I was saying, they are also attracted by Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's glories. But before he had heard the Bhagavatam, right? So then how did he become Brahman realized? Is there any, do you have any comments?
I asked this same question. I think it's Leela, as you're saying.
It's Leela.
Present to a fight of Atma and
It's Leela. So we can.
Yeah. Maybe you want to understand he's doing this lila to make other understand that, higher is the Supreme Lord,
Right.
personal. And another question, if you see our Brahmadaya Gauriya Sampradaya, there is Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, and then Mother Muni, all coming, but there is no Sukadeva Goswami. Where is that?
Because I think there is a whole tree, like we have so many Shukdev Goswami, then you can say Maharaj Parikshit, and then so many others. So I think they did not describe that line, like Arjuna is also not there, Krishna. So there is only certain, like the Chaitanya tree is also there, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then if you see below Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, maybe the 6 Goswamis. But then there are others also, so many. So I think the one branch is mentioned in that parampara, but there are so many branches of the parampara. Like we have Gaudiya Math also, and so many other things. Like, so they have also their connection to the parampara.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they didn't mention the whole, because it would be impossible to cover everything in the book, right? Because there are so many and so many things like that. So we can sing that song.
I have a question also.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, this will be very easy. So it's very strange, right? The Vyasadeva, who is literal incarnation of Krishna, we consider. So his son didn't naturally just come out as a devotee, as a Vaishnava. I mean, he was Brahman realized, but still he was not like, okay, naturally a devotee. Yeah. And same thing we see that Hiranyakashipu's son is Prahlad Maharaj, Mahajan. But Prahlad Maharaj's son is an Asura. But then his son is Bali Maharaj. He is again a pure devotee. But then Bali Maharaj's son is again Asura. So is there like something that they are not doing properly?
I can't say. You are saying that Prahlad Maharaj didn't do Garbhatan Sanskar. That's why.
But here also.
Right, that's why his son, Virochan, right? His son is Virochan.
Right.
That's what we talked about. Right?
I know, but I want to hear his perspective.
So I can't say, why Prahlad Maharaj, even Advaita Acharya's sons were not, some of them deviated.
Same thing with Prabhupada's kids.
Prabhupada's also. So, of course, we have Garbhadan Sanskar, right? That we do to attract a soul to the womb. That will be more like in devotional consciousness. But despite you doing all that, you still may not get a devotee child.
So it's not enough Garbhadana Sanskar. You have to pull. Still 16 years you have to pull. And after that they decide which path they go. But Garbhadana Sanskar I did and I done.
But the question is that Prahlad Maharaj's son did not become a devotee. So did Prahlad Maharaj not train he's a Mahabhagavat, right? But every jiva has a free will also. Every jiva has a free will. So you can train them.
Yeah.
She's saying like that. Every jiva has a free will. You can train them. You can give them a nice environment. But ultimately they have to decide to become a devotee.
There are other reasons also, like Bali Maharaj's son Banasur, he got in the association of bad, he got into bad association of Baumasur and Devita Gorilla. Because of which he was born in a devotee family, but he got distracted. So, as Mataji is saying, just being born in a devotee family is not enough. You have to take care of the child and you need to make his association good with the devotees as it.
Yeah.
Also, like
So that's why you have to protect your children from bad association.
Yeah.
That's why you're homeschooling, right? So in the school, like all the association and so many.
yeah, but we cannot guarantee that they become a devotee.
Huh,
we
that-
do our part,
Huh.
and then they choose their path.
Correct. Because they have their own freedom,
Yeah,
free will. Because when they're young, they will do what you will say them, tell them to do. Because they have no choice but to follow the parents. But when they're 15, 16, then now there's whole world is opening out.
yeah, but we
So now we have Ranchod Prabhu, right? He took initiation.
yeah,
He's only 17, 18 years old. It is amazing, right? At 17, 18 years old, how somebody can take up.
yeah.
So that's, but he may not have been, was he completely like raised in devotional consciousness?
Basically, he didn't listen to us.
He didn't listen to you.
Yeah, he didn't listen to us. That's why he made progress.
We try to protect them, but then ultimately depend on.
Yeah, and then sometimes children who are born in devotee families, they are okay in the beginning, then they go away, like they don't chant,
And
nothing.
then they come back again. When
They come back again.
their
Ultimately.
mother come and be like she told that happened.
So
And also Aditya Goswami, he has six sons. 3 sons become pure devotees, 3 sons become completely impersonal. Only because Aditya Goswami is doing the drama with Mahaprabhu, that impersonal thing, and they hear it and they take it serious. So we have to be careful what we say, because sometimes they take it serious. You know, Aditya Goswami tell, oh, I believe in impersonalism, and Mahaprabhu start beating and
him.
he gets the opportunity to touch his lotus feet.
Correct.
Because all the time Mahaprabhu paying obeisances.
that's Leela, but
Yeah, but his kids took the serious. 3 kids, here he took serious.
oh, that's why they become impersonalists.
So you have to be very careful.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
That
So-
they had heard Advaita Acharya that he was speaking impersonal philosophy because he wanted Mahaprabhu to beat him because he was always very respectful. So he thought, when will Mahaprabhu chastise me? So he started preaching impersonal. But then she's saying that the sons of Advaita Acharya, he was doing a drama. He was not speaking the right to get mercy of Maha. But in that drama, those 3 sons of Advaita Acharya, they heard impersonal philosophy and they become impersonalist. Right?
Yes, that's what I hear in the class.
Okay,
so we have
so-
to be very careful what we're speaking, because kids are, who shall they get?
Yeah, correct.
And they see the parents.
Mm.
What they're doing.
For example.
Yeah.
So we can sing that song. Can you put that song on the...
So, Prabhu, one question I have in terms of respect. So, you said there are relatives and others give advice, and then you just say, "Oh, I'm okay. I understand what," and you say that, right? Like, but then next day you don't follow their advice. So, where is the question of respect there, right? You didn't respect them. If you have respected them, you are following what your relatives or friends are saying. Like, how do you handle that situation?
No, I was just saying in Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto,
Right.
in the instruction to Grihasthas, Narad Muni gives instructions to Yudhishthir Maharaj. There is a verse. So it says, an intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. You can put that verse here.
7:14.
7:14:6. Of course, that's a challenge, what you are saying, but
Even Prabodhananda Saraswati says that I don't care about my brothers calling us.
Madhvendra Puri.
Even in Mukundamala Shlokha, that's what he says, right? Like everybody, relatives, friends, everybody will be saying
Yeah.
things about you, but you keep ignoring.
Yeah, you want to read that? Prabhu, you can read.
An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled.
So he says, yes, whatever. Because, they say, you should not chant now. You should chant when you are 60. You should take up spiritual life. So many things. So yes. And then you chant next day. But then they are saying that that is disrespect to their instruction. But we don't want to create unnecessary debate and quarrel and like that. So sometimes devotees chant like in the morning when everybody's sleeping. They don't know. Parents don't like sometimes that. Like one devotee here, he was very afraid. He is initiated. He has to chant 16 rounds, but his parents came. And he was thinking, how can I chant now? My parents are here. So he used to get up early in the morning, or he used to go to the park. You know who that devotee is? I didn't want to take the name.
Very famous guy.
Very dear.
So he used to go to the park and
He's named after
but later, so sometimes, we can't, we have to do like what we have to do. So, but we have to do it skillfully so that it doesn't agitate and create like friction and heated arguments. So that's what it is.
One devotee chanting in bathroom because his parents don't like to.
Bathroom?
Yeah, he go bathroom and chanting there. That's what Bhakti was in Maharashtra.
Oh,
Chanting in bathroom. The parents don't want.
but long time he'll be in the bathroom, right?
That's what Maharashtra covered that.
Why are you in bathroom?
Long time, yeah.
Every morning 2 hours of
They're sleeping, so at least sound is not going there.
Yeah.
But then there are two ways to think about this, right? That one is that okay, you respect and you don't want any quarrel, but and at the same time you keep that in your back of your mind that okay, you also want to influence them to become devotees someday. So you are when you're nice to them, hopefully they will also take it up. So that is one way to think.
Correct.
And second way is that there are billions of people out there who we can make devotees. So if I just cut this ties right now and focus on myself, and then okay, maybe focus on other people also. There are people like that also. That okay, if somebody is not favorable, so they go away and they just focus on their spiritual life, and then they dedicate their life fully in the service of the Lord like that. So there are two ways. Both the ways are right, I guess.
Yeah, like in book distribution, if somebody doesn't want a book, we don't say you have to take the book, you have to take. Okay, Hare Krishna. We leave them with a pleasant, interaction. Huh?
Gopal also, right? So he left his wife and
Yeah, and then we say, okay, next person will take the book. So like what you are saying, that there are others waiting. But of course, if you are relatives, then you're dependent. Let's say a child is living and he's not independent yet, and he's depending on his parents, and the parents are telling him he cannot leave his home, and so many things. Yeah, so varied situation. Yeah, but in Indian family, I've seen that even after you are grown up, the parents want to control your life. Like even if you're 20, 30, 40, you have a job and you have your own children also, you have married, but they want to tell you what you should do and how you should do and how you should conduct. Isn't it? I don't know. It's
To some level is okay.
some families it's like that. They want to advise you what you should do and how you should.
If parents are devotee, good advice is okay, but it's opposite, then it's not okay.
If they're giving good advice, obviously, yeah, we should take. But yeah, so this another verse, Madhvendra Puri said further, let the sharp moralist accuse me of being illusioned. I do not mind. So other people may say, this person has been brainwashed. Experts in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Oh, he's not doing karma kanda activities. He's doing chanting only. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. Oh, he did not get material success, so he has taken up this spiritual life. He is frustrated in material life. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Maimonites may point me out as mad. And the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, though I am unable to do it. So he's saying, Madhvendra Puri is saying, let whatever they want to say, let them say, but I will serve Govinda. Like that he's saying. Of course, he's very elevated. He's on that platform. We may not be at that platform, but we can take inspiration there. Right? Prahlad Maharaj also, everybody was against, but he did not give up his Krishna consciousness. Whole army, whole kingdom of Hiranyakashipu, all demons against Prahlad. But Prahlad will not give up. Haridas Thakur also, he was being beaten. They said, you are Muslim, you are chanting Krishna's name, we'll publicly beat you in marketplaces. So everybody knows, Muslim chants Hindu God's name, then they will see what will happen. And Haridas Thakur said, he says, even if you cut my body into pieces and I have to die, I will not give up chanting Hare Krishna. Of course, that's why he's Namacharya. He's Namacharya. And we don't have any situation like that in our life. So we should not say, oh, I cannot chant Hare Krishna because this or that. We don't have any such threat in my life, our life. So we can take inspiration that he had that threat, still he would not give up chanting Hare Krishna. So we should, if somebody says something and we stop chanting, that's not, we should like that. So
we'll see the bhajan.
you can put it.
It's too late. Then maybe next.
It's 5 minutes only, ne? We can see.
Next Saturday we'll do it.
Because this is part of our discussion. So 5 minutes you can sing. I like that bhajan, but I don't know the tune nicely.
What is that bhajan?
Bhuliya Tumhare. Yes.
Boliya tumhare. Sing again. Okay, so we have the song. It's nice song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah, you can record that.
भूलिया तुम्हारे संसार राशिया नाना विधा व्यथा तुम्हारा चरणे आशिया छे आमी बोले दुखेरा कथा जन Can we repeat?
Okay, you sing.
जननी जठारे चिलम झकोना विषम बंधन पाशे एक बार प्रभु देखा दिया मोरे वांछिले दिन दासे तखो ना भाविनु जन्म पाइया कोरेबो भजन तवा जन्म होएलु पदी माया जाने न होएलु ज्ञान लवा आदरेरा छेले स्वजनेरा कोले हासिया कातनु काला जनक जननी स्नेह ते भूलिया संसार लागिलो भालो क्रमे दीने दीने बालक होइया भेलेनु बालक साहा और किछु दीने ज्ञान उपजिलो पाठा पढ़िया हर विद्यारा गौरवे भ्रमी देशे देशे धन उपार्जन कोरी स्वजन पालना करी एक माने भूली न तुम्हारे हरि वादिके खोना भक्ति विनोदा कांडिया कातराती ना भजिया तोरे दिना व्रत गेलो एखोने की होबे गति. So translation, I forsook you, O Lord, and came to this world of pain and sorrow. Now I submit my tale of woe at your lotus feet. While still in the unbearable fetters of my mother's womb, I saw you before me. You revealed yourself but briefly and then abandoned this poor servant of yours. At that moment, I swore to worship you after taking birth, but birth came, and with it the network of worldly illusion which robbed me of all good sense. As a fondled son in the lap of relatives, I passed my time smiling and laughing.
My parents' affection helped me to forget the pangs of birth, and I thought the world was very nice. Day by day, I grew and soon began playing with other boys. Shortly, my powers of understanding emerged. I read and studied my lessons incessantly. Traveling from place to place, proud of my education, I grew wealthy and maintained my family with undivided attention. Oh Lord Hari, I forgot you. Now in old age, Bhaktivinoda is saying he weeps. Sad. Bhaktivinoda is sad. He weeps. I failed to worship you, O Lord, and instead passed my life in vain. What will be my fate now?
Of course, devotees are different, but this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah, Bhagavatam says again when the child is in the womb, and then he's praying and he sees Krishna and he makes a promise to Krishna that when he comes out, he will be totally devoted. But then same thing happens. When he's surrounded by friends and family and people taking care of him, he forgets his promise that he made to the Lord.
As soon as they come, they cannot see, but at least they can hear. We give the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Correct.
And that way they can remember what they promised to Krishna.
Yeah, that's right.
Even in Jeev Jagos, Pachi Prabhu in Vishnu.
तुम्हारा संसार है
Guli.
भूलिया तो मेरा अविद्यारा भार
Okay.
Ki
जय
Prabhupada
की जय
all glorious presence of the devotee.
हरे कृष्ण